Hi, I'm Kelly Ciarto, and I am the outgoing council member and former mayor of the city of Murrieta, where I served for 13 years. And I am newly elected to the California State Assembly representing the 67th Assembly District. So I'm happy to be here and answer some of Lisa's questions. So Lisa, why don't you fire away?
Great. Thank you so much for being here today. What would you say are some of the most valuable lessons you've learned about leadership as your career as a local elected official?
Well, I think probably the most valuable lesson I learned was, don't take yourself too seriously. Too many people feel the weight of the office apparently, and they really have a lot of self-importance that they inject into it. And you know what? People that are around you they're very important to your success. And the way you treat that and the way you convey that to them is going to reflect in your own success in your career or in your position as an elected official. Just remember, you're there to represent and be the voice for the people that elected you, and also the people that didn't elect you, the people that didn't vote for you. And so it's important to remember that you're not the most important person in the room. And because when you feel like that, it reflects out there, and people don't really respect that. So keep that in mind as you're meeting with people and meeting with staff people in the city. And shoot, sorry, my phone went off. So anyway, also another thing I learned was stay in your lane. All of us have our own areas of expertise, but we also have staff people like myself. I'm a firefighter. We have a fire chief. I'm not there to run the fire department. I understand things when we have issues dealing with the fire service, but it's his job to run the fire department, not mine. So my job is to help represent people. And that's what the job of being a city council person or a mayor is. And then the third thing that I think is most important is appreciate and take care of the people that are around you. As I said before, those are the people that they do the work behind the scenes. Those are the people that are actually going to help you be successful in representing your constituents. So if you can keep those three things in mind, you'll be on your way to being a successful council member or elected official.
That is excellent advice about building consensus and building a team, right, and surrounding yourself by strong people. I think that's excellent advice. If there's one thing you wish you had known when you started out as a new council member and then mayor, what's the one piece of advice you'd like to share to newly elected officials as they embark on this journey?
Well, it kind of follows on the same theme that I was talking about before. And that's, value the ideas and the efforts of the people around you, including your colleagues. They have areas of expertise that they can talk about a little bit, and make sure that when you're formulating decisions that affect your community, that you take all of these ideas and also the expertise of the staff that have worked so hard to give you a staff report that covers the issues. Take those things into careful consideration. Don't have your mind made up when you walk into the council chambers. And because if you're working that way in a collaborative effort and are willing to accept your ideas, they'll be more willing to accept your ideas as well. And when you do that, you come up with not your plan or their plan, but you come up with the plan that will work the best for your community.
Excellent. I'm sure you will be keeping all of that in mind as you are up in Sacramento joining the state assembly. It sounds like you've got a lot of a lot of good ideas there. Tell me about one local project or initiative that you're really proud of in Murrieta that really shows how local works.
Well, you know what? So I came on the council in 1997. And back then we didn't have a city hall. We didn't have really an area where people gather. And so, an idea was sprung, and one of my colleagues on the council had a little bit of a vision, and then from there it has grown. But we developed a town square. And in the town square, we have our city hall, our police department. We built a senior citizen center and a library so far. And we've also, along the way, we've added amenities to it. And it's like a work in progress. And it's not like one person is responsible for the whole thing or the whole idea. You know, now we have a town square park that sits in the middle that we're now putting up a big amphitheater for. And that'll allow people in the community to gather in one central spot and celebrate the success of their community. We also have our war memorials down there, and the 9/11 memorial is down there. And we have this thing called Murrieta Through Time, but none of it was put together by one council, one set of council members or one administration. It's a work of art that has gone on for the 30 years that the city has been in existence and will continue to go on long past when I'm there. So that's something that I think we can all be proud of. It's a gathering place for the community, and it really brings us together and sends that message of what our community is about.
That is great. Will be especially important post-COVID when everybody can gather again. Right. Well, thank you so much for the service to your city, and congratulations on being elected to the state assembly. That is a great accomplishment, and I'm sure you're excited to get to work for your constituents. Yes. Just tell me briefly, what are some of your priorities as you join the state assembly?
Well, one of the biggest priorities is trying to change the decision-making culture to one of a more collaborative effort than having two sides. You know, and that's a long-term project. It really is, because you really have to connect with people to be able to get them to understand what the value is in that. But specifically, you know, economic recovery has to be high on the list. We have got to help our businesses, our restaurants. They need to recover, because if they don't recover, then we suffer. Our constituents suffer, because they need jobs, they need stability, and that just doesn't exist right now with this epidemic. So we need to do everything we can to help them, and we're going to be working on legislation to try and do that. We also need to reestablish that the state doesn't need to, they feel like they have this need to run everything for us. Local government is much more responsive to the people that live there and create the community that they want. And so we need to stay in our lane as a state agency and enable cities to better serve their constituents. Obviously, support for our public safety services, both policing, and then also on the fire side, we have a lot of wildfire issues that I'm going to be working on. We need to improve our state agencies. You know, DMV, EDD, that's Employment Development Department. Both of them are service agencies that are really struggling. I don't think they have the tools to do it. And then, of course, we have to address the affordability of housing. And everybody is all over the map on that. We really need to focus on the things that make housing so unaffordable and work on those, as opposed to trying to impose upon cities to incorporate things that might not work in their area. So those are just a few. There's a whole lot more.
Just a few of very important issues, yeah. Right? All right. Yeah. Well, I think your experience, you know, in local government as a city council member and mayor is going to be very impactful, and it really will help you bring that local insight up to Sacramento. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Great. And thank you guys for accommodating me at the league for so many years. I look forward to working with everybody in the future. Don't be afraid to call me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.